She said it like she was ordering lunch. Calm, dismissive, final. Your value has been reassessed, she said, tapping her pen against the table. To 0. No emotion, no hesitation, just numbers on a spreadsheet to her. My wife's sister, the CEO, sat at the head of the boardroom table, flanked by people I had hired, mentored, trusted. People now staring at the table instead of me. I remember the hum of the projector, the faint smell of burnt coffee, the soft click of her nails on glass. That's the sound of betrayal. It doesn't roar, it whispers. They escorted me out like an intern caught stealing staplers. No handshake, no explanation, just legal will contact you. I didn't speak, didn't fight, didn't even blink. Because when someone thinks they've buried you, it's best to let them finish the digging. Her father had founded the company. Old school industrialist, sharp eyes, ruthless, but fair. He liked me because I wasn't from their world. No legacy, no trust fund, just grit. When I married his daughter, he laughed and said, "Now you're really in the family business." He wasn't wrong. I built their logistics division from scratch. 10 years, 4 countries, 3 crises survived. When her father retired, he made one mistake. He left control split between his 2 daughters. My wife wanted peace. Her sister wanted power. And she didn't like that every major contract, every investor meeting, every success had my name somewhere in it. Jealousy doesn't announce itself. It builds silently behind polite smiles and board approvals. It started small, emails I wasn't copied on, budget changes I hadn't signed off on. Then the night before my firing, my assistant, loyal to the end, forwarded me an internal memo, contingency plan for leadership restructure. I read every word. The plan had my name in bold. Phase 1, remove M, con. Cause, conflict of interest. Conflict of interest. Funny. The conflict was her interest in taking everything. By the time I finished reading, I wasn't angry. I was cold, clear, because I remembered something her father once told me, a CEO can fire a man. A shareholder can fire a CEO. She'd forgotten one small thing. My employment contract wasn't standard. I had negotiated a performance-linked equity clause tied to investor covenants. It wasn't just money. It was leverage. If I were ever terminated without cause, the lead investor, the one who funded half the company, could invoke a key person clause. That meant a $45 million penalty. Immediate, non-negotiable. But I didn't remind her of that. No, I let her celebrate. I disappeared. For 3 days, I was invisible. During that time, I met quietly with the lead investor's auditor, a man who hated surprises. I gave him what he needed, proof of internal mismanagement, falsified reports, personal expenditures hidden as company costs, all signed off by her. The auditor didn't say much, just nodded and said, "We'll handle it." It started with her father landing back from Dubai. I knew he would. I'd made sure he saw the press release about my removal due to ethical conflicts. He stormed into the office the next morning. "You fired who?" His voice echoed through the marble lobby. The staff froze. She tried to calm him, spinning corporate nonsense about restructuring, new vision, and alignment, but the old man wasn't buying it. He turned to the CFO, my old ally, and asked one question. "Who signed off on the termination?" The CFO hesitated, then pointed to her. That was the first crack. But I wasn't done. The next hit came hours later. An emergency board meeting called by the lead investor's auditor. Everyone was there, the board, her father, and the auditors. I sat in the corner, silent. She hadn't expected me to show up. The auditor started the meeting quietly. No preamble, no emotion. He just slid a single document across the table, the funding covenant. Then he looked at her and asked, do you have the $45 million penalty ready, or should we just take the keys? The silence that followed was surgical. You could hear her breath catch. Her father's face went pale. She tried to argue, to explain, to shift blame, but the auditor wasn't there to listen. He was there to enforce. He turned to me. Mr. Khan, he said, as per the agreement, you remain the designated key person until this breach is resolved. The board will need to reinstate your authority. I didn't smile, didn't gloat. I just nodded, because power, when it returns, should be silent. By the end of the day, she was out. Her accounts frozen, her title stripped. Her father didn't even look at her as he signed the papers. Just whispered, "You've embarrassed this family." My wife never said a word to me. She just watched it all unfold, expression unreadable. We both knew what had happened had gone far beyond family. When it was over, I went back to my office. Same room, same chair. Only difference, the silence now belonged to me. A week later, the auditor called. "Everything's stable now," he said. "You could have sued. You didn't." I told him the truth. I wasn't after money. I just wanted her to understand value. He paused, then said, "She does now." That night, I sat in the dark, staring at the skyline. The city lights reflected off the glass like 1,000 small fires, the same kind she tried to burn me with. I thought about her words again. "Your value has been reassessed." She was right. It had. Only this time, it wasn't mine. Because when you teach someone the cost of betrayal, you make sure the lesson is paid in full.